Alright. 11:30. I thought it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I went out and went to the bathroom. We finally got our rain. I don't know if we're going to get downpour type rain, but I think today we're in for just a day of drizzle. So, But came back in the tent. I was reading Think and Grow Rich last night, and woke up this morning and smoked a couple smokes and busted out Think and Grow Rich, and I'm 90 pages in, and excuse me. But actually, that right there is a good example. I think I read last night. I feel like I read last night for a half an hour. I probably read for an hour and a half. And then this morning, I feel like I probably read for another half an hour, and I probably read for about an hour. But I'm 90 pages into a book. And, I mean, literally because I sat down, kind of had nothing better to do, kind of drizzly. Last night, I didn't have a lot of juice, so I didn't want to waste the laptop. So I grabbed the book and, kind of subconsciously planned just a little bit of energy for education and focused thought, and sit down and read the book, and the book focuses my thought, gives me lots of things to think about. I'm sitting here in a tent and I'm sore as hell from working out yesterday. Didn't do a full-on workout, but throughout the day, 25 different occasions, I grabbed the weights or jumped down and did some push-ups or sit-ups or something. Did a bunch of squats and, doing squats in the fucking woods. But, lying in bed, and it's got to be 45, 50 degrees outside, so it's flipping cold. But because I never sit, in an 80-degree house, and my body temperature never really gets up to, my outside temperature never really gets to feel, a warm bath, your body acclimates to the cold. And I'm sitting here with no shirt on and the door to the tent wide open and the rain and the wind kind of blowing around, and, it's fucking cold, but I don't feel it because I've been sitting in it already. So, which ironically enough brings me to the point I was going to make. I've said for years, everybody get your feelings out. Find a better way than to scream and shout. Everybody's always been so afraid to talk about the things in life that are difficult or bringing pain or embarrassing or hurting. And I've just never understood that. I've always been one to talk about things because I realized very early on that whatever things you're dealing with in your life and in your heart and soul that are difficult for you, you're dealing with them in your day-to-day life anyway. I mean, you're acting and reacting based upon these feelings, so you might as well get them out there, talk about them, deal with them, because they're already out there anyway, and you're living in that shit and that crud anyway. So reading that book and going through what I'm going through and taking the steps that I am, and coming back yesterday and kind of having a plan to do it, but not really planning on doing it. Grabbing the weights and, starting to get my juices flowing, and respecting the fact that I've lost a lot of weight and I look good and there's no need to put a lot of fat back on, and I want to go back with a plan and go back and maintain the things that are important to me. I just realized that, somebody needs to write this Think and Grow Rich book a little more today. A little more user-friendly for the generation and in the language that, we live in today, because I've changed my destiny. I've changed my path. I've changed my stars. I've changed my past. I've changed myself. And I did that in such an easy, simple way that, relatively speaking, anybody could do what I've done. I don't look a little better and feel a little better and, smile a little more. I'm happy. I'm okay with the world around me and my involvement in it. And what I'm not okay with, I no longer beat myself up and I'm hiding behind an insurmountable amount of pain. The things that are important to me now, I have the strength and the desire to do something about them. And out here, this book talks about autosuggestion and imagination and faith and garbage in, garbage out and all that shit. Well, without this book, for the last 3 months, that's exactly what I've been doing. I just taught myself a new way. Instead of shoving in my head and in my heart every day that I had failed or I was a failure or I wanted this so bad but I couldn't do it, instead of putting in my brain that pile of crap, I've subconsciously, without a real master plan, because you saw, I didn't come out here with a whole lot of specifics. I didn't come out here knowing what I was going to do. I came out here knowing that I couldn't do what I was doing before. This was a lot better opportunity for me to strip it all away, get back to the basics, and I knew that it would not be over until it was over. And here we are, 90, almost 100 days, and I still know it's not over. But I know that I'm further and closer than I've ever been. I know that I have straight up found my happy place. And now after going back home and getting some curveballs thrown at me from my sister and my mother, and just keeping a bat on my shoulder and just watching them go by, I don't mind 2 strikes. That don't bother me a bit. I mean, I live under pressure. But I know I don't have to swing at bad pitches. I know I can take my time. Let them pile up some balls. Hell, I'll even take a walk. But I ain't going to strike out. Because I got my head down and I'm swinging easy. And I don't know. I mean, I'm always shitting out new ideas. But when you believe as much as I do, and you're convinced that you're a good person, and you know it, and you act it, and you live it, and you mean it, it's so easy to dust yourself off and get up again, because you don't know what the plan is, but you know what you want. You don't know exactly how you're going to get there, but you know you're going to get there. And that's faith. That's the faith that they talk about. And I've been teaching myself that since I got out here. I've been beating that into my head since before I got out here. Me having faith in the system and knowing that there was a bigger, better place and that there was a bigger purpose for me, that was faith. And that faith is what I never lost. I lost hope and action. I lost the ability. I lost the strength. But at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day, I never, ever lost faith. And when I found myself in a bathtub, potentially willing to take my own life, I felt the faith slipping away. And I did the only thing I knew how. Change everything. Turn the fucking world upside down. Because if you're in this situation, and if you're here, your entire fucking world's so turned upside down, it's scary. So turn it upside down in the other direction. Take a walk, go to church, call your mom, do everything you've never done. When you find yourself questioning and doubting your existence, do the things you've never done. Call the people you said you'd never talk to again. Say sorry for things you don't even think are your fault. Force yourself into a place where your world's already upside down. Turn it upside down with a purpose, with a hint of a plan, with a hint of a goal. And that's what I did. I knew my life was quite possibly ending. So I decided to walk straight into the night. Put myself in a life-threatening situation where I knew my life might end. And if I stripped it all away, I could get to the root and the core of my question. And that's, do you want to live? And I found out that, oh God, do I want to live? And because I was where I was at in the world and in the woods and in the places where I was, where things were so black and white and so cut and dry and so real, I subconsciously started reprogramming my mind. I got the dirt and the crud and the filth out of my soul, and I started bringing the sunshine and the fish and the birds and the butterflies and the trees and the rocks. I started bringing the beauty in. And the more I exposed myself to the beauty, and the more I slowed down on beating myself up, I found a happy place that makes happy places. I found a peace inside of me that is so strong that it can't be fucked with. You can't take me out of my happy place. You can take me out of the woods and put me back home, but I won't go out of my happy place. And the second I feel myself going out of my happy place, I will stand up and walk the fuck away. And go remind myself of what I'm doing and what's important to me. So, maybe there's another book there. Just take Carnegie's fucking Napoleon Hill's book and polish it up. Make it new, make it fresh. Because without the book, I saved my life. And at the end, I find the book. And it confirms for me, like watching my video the other day, it confirms for me that I saved my own life. I taught myself how to live. I forgave myself, I encouraged myself, I motivated myself, I loved myself. And at the end of the day, if you can do that, you won't let nobody else treat you like shit. You won't let yourself treat other people like shit. You won't let people fail you because you'll help them succeed you. You'll want people to succeed you. Because that's success for yourself. And I've been telling myself for so long, I want it better, I want it better, I want to change the world, I want to change my world. I've been telling myself that for so long. That's the glimmer of faith that I've kept with me the whole time. And now that I've stopped beating myself up, that I've forgiven myself for my mistakes, that I've forgiven the other people in my life for making mistakes with me, I went the other way and realized that those weren't mistakes. They were things that guaranteed and shored up and ensured and put in stone my faith. I love life. And I don't care if it ends tonight. I'm okay. I did my best. I found my way. I never gave up. Even when I laid down and was dying in a room alone, I still wrote. I still dreamt. I still talked about faith. I still invented. I still dreamed. And now, out here, within me, finding what I've found, because I consciously went and looked for it, can you think of a more proud moment? I don't care if people look down their nose at me and think I'm crazy. I'm crazy for the first time in my life, focusing on what's important to me. And if what I'm doing for me does not bring harm to you, leave me the fuck alone. And if what I'm doing brings hope and faith and opportunity to other people in the world, leave me the fuck alone. Because I went from a concept and a philosophy and a crazy idea. That was to make the world a better place. And I brought that crazy idea and that philosophy out here to the woods. And I stripped it all away. And I found out what was important to me. And what I wanted. And what I want to do. And what I'm capable of doing. And what I believe in. And what I'm strong enough to do. And now that I've helped myself, that I've saved myself, that I've proved to myself that I can do it, fuck me. Just imagine what I could do for other people in the world who want help. Because I learned the hard way. You can't force and impose change on other people, even if it's the right change and it's what they need. If they're not ready for it and they're not asking for it, you can't help them. But me, now, I know that. And now I just want to make myself available. I just want to carry out my wishes and my dreams. Do what's right for me. Continue to suggest and brainwash myself with good ideas. Continue to understand that the crap I'm dealing with in life, I'm dealing with anyway, every way, every day, anyway. So I might as well control that. I might as well do things because of that reason instead of not do things because of that reason. I might as well change it up and fucking take all that energy that I'm wasting and have wasted and do something good with it. Because it takes the same amount of energy to be happy as it does to be sad. And yeah, I, David Gaudet, consciously choose happy. And humbly understand that happiness is not always an option. And humbly understand that my happiness will often, I was going to say always, my happiness will often be challenged. But I'm up for the fight. I believe, I'm convinced, I know, without a shadow of a doubt, that there is a happy place. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's peace at the fork in the road. Just follow the stars that God put in the sky, and it'll lead you right back home. The path to heaven is paved in sin. You got to go through hell before they let you in. So you might as well live. You might as well laugh. You might as well love with all you have, because you don't know when it all can end. And not living life is the greatest sin. And fuck me running. I'm sorry, but I choose life. I chose pain. I chose misery. I chose chaos. I chose turmoil. Nothing's ever been done to me. Obviously, when I was a child, I didn't have a lot of choices, but later on in life, when it really counted, I chose misery. I chose turmoil. No more. Sorry. Homie, don't play that. It's just like right now. It's raining. It's fucking cold. It's getting colder by the minute. But you know what? I choose happy. I choose smile. I choose warm. And even though right now I'm not warm, I believe that I am. I choose not to snivel and bitch about the cold, because I can't do anything about it. And at the very least, if I continue to snivel and bitch, and if I snivel and bitch about the cold, then it'll suck me dry, and I won't be able to do anything about it. So you either be positive and be optimistic and be part of a solution, or at the very least, you don't be your own worst enemy. You don't beat yourself up, because if you beat yourself up too much, you won't have the strength to get up and follow your dreams. And that's one of the most powerful things I did out here. I stopped beating myself up, and I continue to believe in myself. And from start to finish, it's like with pot. I go into town, I haven't had any for 3 or 4 days. I smoke a little bit, and the second I do it, I'm like, fuck, I hate this shit. I even go home to my mom's and hang out with her, and the first words out of my mouth are, fuck, I hate pot. It's just so stupid. I think that it does something for me, but it doesn't. And then, sure, I bring a little bit out here with me, and I smoke a little bit here and there. And it's a little different out here because, to just be in a little bit of a goofy state, it's kind of nice, because you're out here in the woods and just chilling, and, life is clean and pure and, fun to look at through green eyes. But I know in my heart that it's just a crap. It's just a crap tool. It's just garbage in. And that really is it right there. It's just garbage in, and when you put garbage in, you will get garbage out. So, it's just kind of one of those things that I can't help but talk about, and I can't deny, because it is what it is. I smoke pot because for 25 years that's what I've done. It's part of my family tree. It's part of my DNA. It's who I am. It's what I've always done. but I know better. And I know it's not good for me. And I know it could be potentially used someday in recreation or moderation, but not now. When I don't have it, that's all I think about. And when I have it, fucking that's all I do. So, no way, no how justifying it, but, you know, it's just one of those things that we're still dealing with. On most everything in my life right now, the scales have tipped. I'm more happy than I am sad. I'm more productive than I am lazy. I get more done than I don't. I'm nicer than I'm mean or whatever. And that's just one of the few things that I have left that I'm right on the fence. I'm 50-50. I still believe pot does something for me, and I know it doesn't. It just simply doesn't. And at the very least, it may do something for me. But other things it does for me too is make me lazy. Make me okay with just sitting. Make me okay with just watching TV. And that's not something that I want to do. So, but I don't know, maybe I'll take fucking Napoleon Hill and Carnegie's book here and polish it up. Because it's a great book. It's a little cheesy because it's written in the 1900s, but late 1800s, early 1900s. But it really is, oddly enough, everything I've learned, everything I've experienced, everything I've done for myself and taught myself and found out along the way. Hence, learn from my mistakes. So I've always wanted to write that book because I'll tell you anything. I'll tell you the truth about anything I've ever done, why I did it, what I was thinking, and why I don't want to do it anymore. In the hopes that you'll read it and say to yourself, you know what? If he can do it, I can do it. I don't expect you to go to the woods. I don't expect you to burn the ships and give everything you have away and sell everything and come out to the woods with just enough to get by. I wouldn't want anybody to have to go through that. Hell, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But it might be fun to watch. Because you can physically, emotionally, spiritually, you can watch me change. You can watch me learn and grow. And my father tried to teach me a lot of things out of his mouth. But unfortunately, the only things I remembered is what he showed me. What I watched, what I saw. You can tell a child anything in the world, but if you do the opposite, they'll remember the opposite. If you teach them to be honest and moral and ethical, and then show them immoralities and dishonesties and lack of ethics, they will remember that. And I may have been lazy and bored and not real productive and stoned half my trip out here, but you can watch me change. Right in front of your eyes. I tell you what, I didn't really realize it until I went back home and took a shower and stood in front of a mirror and saw my naked ass body. And realized that I had physically stripped it all away. I'd taken all that pain and all that crap and all that fat and all that gross and fucking stripped it right off my body. Skinned me clean of it. I didn't even know. It had nothing to do with not eating. I eat like a motherfucker. I just mind over mattered it. I didn't realize when I was fishing 8 or 10 miles a day that was stripping me physically of my pain. But you get to see that it was stripping me emotionally of my pain as well. The smile slowly came back. The day I broke my fucking solar panel, I remember going, okay, fucking well, I guess we broke the solar. Oh, wow, did you see that bird? You know, I physically, you know, the bear inside of me finally went quiet. And I did that. I did that for myself and by myself. And that's a wonderful thing. Because not only now can I maybe help some other people, but I get to do it with the great pride of knowing that I'm selling something that works. I saved my own fucking life. My life was over. It was done. It was scary. It was dark. It was deep. And now all I can do is think about how it's just beginning. Even if my physical life ends tomorrow, I found something inside of me that can sustain me a lifetime. That's a peace, an understanding, a hope, a belief, a faith in the fact that you get out what you put in. It takes just as much energy to be happy as it does to be sad. When it's sun shining and birds are chirping, get your ass out there and get in it. Bask in it. Take your fucking clothes off and jump in a creek butt naked. Feel the water going through your giggly parts. Crawl out and lay on a beach somewhere. Just look up at the sun and feel the warmth. But when it's raining and cold, bundle up. Read a book. Make some soup. Build a fire. Wear your new mittens. Embrace it. So, I'm going to continue to read my book. Continue to have deep thoughts. Hope that the rain picks up a little bit so I can test the tarp. Figure out what I got to do and how I got to do it. And, fucking A. I love you to death. We're coming home soon.